Energetic woman, they got the game. Customer success is their claim to fame. On the podcast, they light the spark, elevating your skills.
Exactly. Welcome to the Customer Success Playbook podcast. My name's Roman Trebon. With me always, my trusted co-host, Kevin Metzger. As always, thanks to our audience for listening. Make sure you subscribe, like the podcast, give us a rating. We really appreciate it. It helps us grow our audience and reach more people. Kevin, we got a big, I know we usually talk customer success on here, but we got a big Clemson Tiger Pitt Panther matchup this weekend. You didn't think I was going to let us start the show without mentioning that. So you must be feeling pretty confident going into this game.
I am not feeling confident at all going into this game. You know, last week was a tale of two halves for Clemson. The first half, I did not think we were going to pull out against Virginia Tech. Second half, we looked better. The game before that, we lost to Louisville. So, yeah.
It's funny how things change, Kevin. It was like 3 weeks ago, you and I are undefeated Pitt. Clemson only had the one loss. We were talking about venturing up to Pittsburgh, maybe, taking the show on the road. 2 weeks later, Pitt lost 2 in a row. Clemson's lost, and we have not brought up the trip at all since then. So we probably should have a little CS Playbook wager here. Maybe I'll wear orange if Clemson wins, and I'll give you a Pitt Panther hat or something to throw on if the Panthers win. You good with that?
That sounds good.
All right, I love it. All right. Moving on from football, Kev, we're in November, Gratitude Month. It's been a heck of a year for the show. I mean, I was looking at our guests. Think we're going to have over 25, maybe 30 guests this year, which is incredible. Our first full year doing the show. Last year, we started midway through. This year, we've kept the momentum going. You were just looking into the numbers before we got on the show. Pretty good, right? We owe a big thanks to our audience. That's probably where we should start.
Yeah, like you said, we're coming up on a year and a half. Through the beginning of October, we were at around 5,000 downloads. In the month of October and November, we're almost at another 1,000. By the end of November, we should probably hit another 1,000 downloads, which is fantastic. I hope that means we're adding value. You know, we started getting a couple unsolicited mentions, which is kind of cool.
Really cool. I was scrolling through Reddit, and audience, please don't judge me for scrolling through Reddit. I judge myself enough doing that. But anyway, I was looking, there's a customer success subreddit. Scrolling through, someone had a post around what are some good books and podcasts to listen to around customer success. We got a shout out, which was super cool. And you had sent me a similar post on LinkedIn talking about books and shows. And we got a shout out there as well, which was great.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's the first couple of times that it's come across my desk and your desk where we've had mentions that showed off, you know, that were not guests of the show or unrelated. They were just completely unrelated mentions. So it gives me some hope that maybe we're adding some value to the community and that there's some appreciation for that. So that felt good.
For sure. Audience, again, thanks for listening. Connect with Kevin and I. We'd love to hear from you. Reach out. We're on LinkedIn. We're always open for a quick connection. We'd love to hear, you know, what topics, guest themes you want us to talk about. We really appreciate that. Kev, I'd say the other thing, another item for gratitude this year. Man, what an amazing network and community the customer success world is. I know you started the year, early in the year, you went to Pulse. Right? How amazing was that? That pretty much fueled our show for the first half of the year. The customer success community in Atlanta, which you and I participate in quite frequently, man, that thing is humming. You know, we got happy hours, we got morning coffees, we have pickleball, which you and I have been doing a lot of. And it's funny, Kev, I've been in client meetings, has nothing to do with customer success. And they're like, hey, Roman, how's the pickleball going? So I know people are seeing the pickleball post. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the community, Kevin? It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fantastic community. I mean, I think customer success is ultimately about people, right? People who are interested in being about people are in customer success. We get a lot of good people in the industry who want to connect, who want to share, who want to learn, and it reflects in the show, and we get that as guests in the show who want to come on and share their knowledge. And then I think it reflects in, I've been going through a job search for the year, and got a lot of feedback and help, just a lot of stuff off on the side, not public, but people are always thinking about you, or helping you connect to somebody that they know, or just really being good humans, which
Oh, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's the thing that stood out to me, right? Like a lot of our guests, they're super smart. They have a ton of knowledge around customer success, but they're awesome people. How many times have we reached out to a guest after the show, and they're always open to share their time, their knowledge, make connections for us. It's really just an amazing community. I feel fortunate to be a part of it. I'm glad you and I have made the connections that we have thus far. And again, that's why I say to our audience, let's connect, right? It just keeps growing, and it makes the community that much richer.
Absolutely. And, also we've connected with a lot of these people, all of our guests, right? We've established relationships with. So if you need a connection to one of the guests, you can reach out for that too. Really great people who have been guests on the show. A lot of them have been recognized in the Customer Success 100. I know we were going to hit on that a little bit. If you want to connect with one of them, you can reach out. We're happy to try and make the connection.
Yeah, for sure. And you should definitely check them out on LinkedIn. And Kev, I'm looking at the list here. I see Carly Agar's one. I see she's at the top of the list in the success coaching top influencers. I mean, Carly's an awesome guest, especially if you're in a job transition or you're looking to get into customer success. Check out Carly. Wealth of knowledge. She has training. She helps people navigate the job search. We got Dave Jackson. Number one guest, maybe number one in terms of, I love Dave, but he was the first guest we ever had on the show. Dave's on the list again. Christy Faltruso was the first, we got to meet her this year. Ereet from CS Practice joined the show. And it just keeps going on and on, right, Kev? I mean, so many people that we've been fortunate enough to talk to in the top 100, and it keeps expanding. Our goal as we go into next year is to keep meeting these people in the top 100. Julie's in that list, Julie Fox, who's at Sin 7 now. Julie's amazing. Jasmine Reynolds from Pluralsight we got to meet this year. So, I could keep going on and on, but amazing guests, very generous with their time, sharing their knowledge. They're very open about what's worked for them, success and failures. We've had guests that say, hey, I tried this, it didn't work, and here's how I would do it differently the next time.
Yeah, I think it's incredible what people are willing to share. I was just going back and looking at some of the notes on Carly. Key skills for job seekers that she mentioned were networking and interviewing skills, engaging with decision makers, cross-functional networking, showcasing skills through your networking. She hit on all of that in the show, right? Yeah. And she hit on what resumes should look like in the current market and how to leverage LinkedIn. Something worth going back and checking. I mean, that was a show we did at the end of last year. Let me see if I can pull up some notes on Dave Jackson. The biggest deal with Dave was looking at the structure of your department as a customer success leader. This is just out of memory. And it was such an impactful discussion for me as the first guest we had on the show, but then really his viewpoint on customer success of you're looking at how you make the company money. In the end, you're only valuable to the company if you're bringing in additional revenue, and you look at the structure of your department that way. If you're a cost department, you're not bringing value to the company. And honestly, we had that meeting with Dave in June of 23. Going into the beginning of 25, I think most customer success departments that are still separate departments are structured that way now. In the process of going through interviews over the last year, most departments are structuring as some kind of revenue-based KPI that they are responsible for and showing. Really saw a lot of that.
A lot of gratitude for him. So, Kevin, as we pivot a little bit, you and I we're grabbing some CS playbook time, looking at 2025, right? And I think we can touch on this a little bit since you and I have discussed it, but I think we're going to expand kind of our audience, right? Like the guests we have on the show. And I think I'm excited for that. I know the last year and a half, we've really honed in on customer success leaders and people that have, for the most part, customer success in their title, right? I think what you brought up, and I think it's so important, is customer success is all throughout the organization, right? It's not just the customer success team, which makes customers successful. So we're going to start talking to those other business units and those other functions, like people in sales, people in support, right? Like really expanding product. How do they start thinking in terms of making their clients successful? I'm excited about that, Kevin. I think it'll help evolve the podcast and add more variety to the show and help people both in CS and outside of CS understand how all these different organizations and departments help drive value for clients.
Yeah, and I think, and it's funny, this harpens back to Dave as well. Dave was making the point in that very first show. He didn't think customer success needed to be a department. It's got to be what you do in your business. Every department, every part of a business has to do with making customers successful. If it's not making customers successful and it's only focused on that department's specific thing and they're not thinking about the customers, then you're going to miss the opportunity to grow your business and look at what the opportunities really are. Getting to talk to each of the departments. I mean, finance, you've got accounts payable, accounts receivable. How is that structured in a way that supports your customers, right? You've got to manage your revenue collections, right?
Screw up billing, Kevin. Screw up billing and see how happy customers are, right? You could have the greatest customer success department, account management department. You mess up invoices on a regular basis, let's see what happens, right?
Exactly. And so, and as a customer success manager, if you haven't dealt with that, you will. Are those departments thinking about that and how that impacts the long-term relationship with the customer? You as a customer success leader are responsible for helping the teams understand that. So having those discussions and hearing from the perspective of the VP of finance or CFO and hearing how they think about that'll benefit you and the audience as well. And then marketing, product design. James Scott, big on product-led growth, right? From a product perspective, how are you making the product integrate with the customer? Really having those conversations with the product team to learn how they're getting feedback from the customer to design and build the product. I'm excited about having some of those discussions as well.
No, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to 25, but we still are chock full of great guests coming here at the back end of 2024, Kev. So we still have, I think we got 4 more guests, whatever it is, lined up. It'll get us into the holidays. Santa will come down the chimney, and then we're ready to roll into 2025. I'm excited for the last part of this year, and I'm definitely excited for 2025. I'm also excited to see you wear a Pitt jersey next week after Pitt pulls the upset. I got an awesome Pitt hockey jersey out. It's super bright, and it really shows off the Pitt colors. You look great in it.
Well, I was traveling this past weekend. I sent you a photo. I saw it was at a Love's gas station, truck stop gas station. I think their colors are yellow and black.
Yeah.
But they had Falcons in yellow and black. They had everything, and then they had the Steelers right there too. I had to send you a picture of all those.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yellow and black. People in Pittsburgh will buy it up, no problem. It doesn't even matter what it says on it. So awesome. Well, our audience, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Again, you can connect with us on LinkedIn. I'm at Roman Trebon. Find Kevin at Kevin Metzger. Find us. Check out our Customer Success Playbook podcast page. Go to CS Playbook podcast. You'll find our page there. See upcoming guests, sneak peeks of interviews that we have lined up, shows that are coming to you soon. Reach out, let us know again what topics, guests you'd like to have us have on the show. Thanks for listening, and as always,
keep on playing.